Wow, look at Shura.
For those of you who started with Engage, or that game with that character I like, in Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, about halfway through the game, you have a choice to either spare this kind of gentleman or get a pair of boots. At this point, it's been a meme for 8 whole years about how everyone picks the boots. Look, this one was just made 2 months ago, but what if I told you that this meme that's been plaguing our psyche for nearly a decade is actually one of the worst decisions you could make in the entire Fire Emblem series? Yes, even worse than this one. However, before I explain why, make sure to like and comment on this video if you end up enjoying it, and subscribe since I'm only 1,000 subs away from 5,000 points. You know, like, the channel name.
5 points!
To start off with Shura's potential as a unit, let's talk about the first chapter he's available in, Chapter 17. Also lovingly referred to as Ninja Hell, is a chapter filled almost exclusively with incredibly fast ninjas that can chip down and debuff your units from 1 range and 2 range. For those who haven't played Fates, the ninja class line is often considered one of the best class lines in the game for all the reasons I just listed. So for most players, this is an incredibly long and grueling chapter where you're fighting powerful enemies, and even the non-ninja enemies like the Sword Masters are no joke due to their immense speed. I mean, if you want to see what I mean, just look at how much the ninjas can wear down a unit that they can't even damage with their weapons. Gee willikers, oh gee whiz, if only there was a unit that joined that had enough speed to double these annoying enemies with just a tunic and dash or meal and a pair up, and also had weapon triangle advantage against them to dispatch them very easily.
At least these boots are soft.
So yeah, as soon as he joins, Shura can help you out immensely with his 24 speed, a speed stat that's probably one of the highest in your armies by this point in the game, if not the highest, in a chapter that is frustrating for many players. Now you could say that requiring tonics and dash or a pair up depending on your circumstances is a bit of an inconvenience, but let's be real, you are going to use those items plus a meal on this chapter anyway, and most of your other units aren't faring any better. There's also his reclassing options. Since Shura can't marry anyone besides Corrin, that means he gets more reclass options without having to marry or befriend anyone unlike normal characters. Luckily, this class set includes some of the best classes in the entire game. Berserker has the best parrot bonuses period, and is strong in its own right. Mechanist can let you replicate, a skill that literally lets you get 2 of 1 unit with no drawbacks besides a shared health bar. Hero nets you access to Soul, and since he can also reclass into a Master Ninja, he can become the coveted, the amazing, the spectacular Soul Ninja without having to talk to anyone else. Of course, as previously established, Master Ninja is one of the best classes in the game due to penalty-free 1-2 range, chip damage through Poison Strike, good speed, and you can debuff the enemy if you don't one-round them. It's even a popular class for Corrin, that is, if you're not a blacksmith truther like me. Luckily for Shura, he doesn't even need to be a ninja to debuff people because of his good personal skill. Highwayman inflicts strength and speed -3 on the enemy if the enemy can't counterattack, and since his default class uses bows, most enemies can't. So even if you discount all the stuff I just said about classes, at base, you still have a unit with fantastic speed and good support through debuffs and staff usage. Of course, we now come to the boots. Movement is the best stat in the Fire Emblem series. 3 houses can be turned into a complete joke of a game just by using Stride on all of the defeat boss maps, since it just lets you defeat the bosses instantly, and we all know how the Sigurd makes us feel in Engage. So obviously an item that permanently increases movement is extremely good, which means that although Boots and Fates only increase movement by 1, they're still extremely valuable. So even with all the great attributes I mentioned earlier, how can Shura even hope to compete with a permanent move increase? Well, you could just That's right, kids. All you have to do to get the effects of the boots is just pair up Shura with any unit in your army. And this effect is even better than the boots because instead of just permanently increasing the movement of 1 unit, Shura is an active practitioner of communism, so he can share his +1 move with anyone whenever you want, along with +3 speed. If you want a practical example of this, here's me using him in the actual final level of the game while he's received practically no training. I can use his +1 move on pair up to increase Nina's movement to 10, allowing her to travel all the way down here, so I can then switch to Shura and rescue my Takumi killer to an ideal position so Shura can get danced by Azura, so then I can use all of his movement, which is increased by his move +1 skill which he has at base, and his Nina pair up, which also gives him extra movement, to rescue my 8-move Takumi killer to be in perfect range to finish off Takumi. So in this example, I've utilized his ability to give extra movement, while also utilizing his ability to use staves to effectively clear the final level of the game. Now, I may be, misremembering this, but last time I checked, boots can't increase movement and also use staves. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you a question. if Shura is immensely useful the second he joins, and is immensely useful in the final level at base, has access to some of the best classes in the game if you decide to actually invest in him, does literally everything the boots do but better, can do this for more than half the game depending on how much you like making characters in this game kiss, what is the point of picking the boots? No, seriously, I am genuinely asking from like a game development standpoint, besides the scenario where you don't want to use a deployment slot on the immensely useful ninja pirate with a cool story, cool design, and cool boss quote, but still get a permanent +1 move boost to one of your units, this is genuinely a pointless decision. So ladies and gents, I can safely say that if you pick the boots, you're bad at Fire Emblem. Or, you know, maybe you just don't like Shura in a game series where 99% of its players don't care about unit viability and just want to use the characters they like. I don't know, but remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see. Bye!